I would hire the one with a college degree because I knew something about them I didn't know about the one that didn't. And what I knew was they could take on a 4-year project and complete it. They could meet deadlines. They could get along with assholes that they didn't like, but it was their job to get along with them, tough professors or whatever. I knew that about them, that they could, write papers, get things in on time, do this, do that, that they could take it.
In this one, we're about to watch a debate between Dr. Phil and Bill Maher over the state of America today. But first, I'd like to ask you to pray for the folks affected by Hurricane Helene and the ones that are preparing for the oncoming Hurricane Milton. I know a lot of people are hurting right now, and a lot of people are scared, and so just keep them in your thoughts and prayers if you don't mind. Now let's go ahead and get this video started.
Can you give me your basic view, the overview, the 30,000 feet overview of where you think America is? And
I think it's headed for a cliff.
Me too.
I think it's heading for a cliff, and
major reasons being,
well, it depends on what category you want to talk about. And look, I stay non-political because I think there's idiocy on both sides.
There is.
Yeah, I see people in the State of the Union address on the right side of the aisle yelling liar at our president.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of our president or the last one, but I respect the office of the president. And to see somebody screaming liar, that disrespects the office. I think the rest of the world's got to be looking at it going, God.
But let's also pause a moment to say, you put in the same breath, you don't like this president and you didn't like the last one. They are very different people, and one of them is much more of a threat to the Republic, and that would be the 45th. Would you not agree?
Well,
come on, threat to the Republic? Joe Biden? No. Joe Biden is a return to normalcy, yet a Democrat who is, yes, too much ensorcelled by his fringe left. He will not ever tell them to sit down and shut up. But I will take that bargain, much as I don't like it and it's bitter. I will take that bargain over Trump. Come on.
Well, I'm concerned about both sides, and I'm particularly concerned about this woke agenda that's being pushed.
Agreed.
Right now. I'm concerned about what's happening in American colleges right now.
Oh,
my God.
Insanity. I don't think people know. I just don't think they know. Because I think, and I don't know, of course, I have not been on campus, but you can read so many first-person reports. And you can read that it's in the literature of what these universities say they're doing or in their curriculum. I mean, there is like hard evidence of, oh yeah, this is going on. And then all the speakers that get chased off of campuses because kids, they're far from defending free speech. They don't even believe in it as a concept. They are so spoiled and entitled that they believe that their feelings far supersede this concept of free speech. That is a complete decoupling of one of the utter basic principles that undergird this country, right?
Well, let me tell you something. There was a time where if I had two candidates sitting in front of me and they were exactly the same in every respect, except one of them had a college degree and one of them didn't, even if it was a degree in like art history or something and had nothing to do with what they were going to be hired to do, and they were matched in every way, I would hire the one with a college degree because I knew something about them I didn't know about the one that didn't. And what I knew was they could take on a 4-year project and complete it. They could meet deadlines. They could get along with assholes that they didn't like, but it was their job to get along with them, tough professors or whatever. I knew that about them, that they could, write papers, get things in on time, do this, do that they could take it. I don't know that about them anymore.
Correct.
I don't know that they're coddled,
Exactly.
They complain, they whine, and they still get pushed through.
And they're not required.
I thought Dr. Phil was about to pull a weak move and say getting any college degree is better than none. Because, in my opinion, the too poor to even attempt college opinion, I might add, there's only one scenario where a person should go to college, and this doesn't apply to athletes. I'll say I'll add that part as well. The athletes that need to use college as part of their experience to get to the pro level, these people don't apply, right? But those people aside, the one scenario a person should go to college, the only one, is if that person knows exactly what they want to do in life, okay? There's way too many kids going to college for the wrong reasons or because their parents and mentor told them to without having any in-game plan. That's one of the biggest problems. A lot of them end up dropping out and still have college student loan debt. And the ones that do finish, they end up with a degree that they really can't use. And, you know, there's always the exception. But for the most part, I feel like it's children who, you know, just graduated high school. Their brains are still developing. They don't know exactly what they want to do in life. And it's a big risk and a big obligation when you commit to college not knowing what you want to do. So if a student doesn't have an in-game plan when they begin college, they probably shouldn't go until they figure that part out. And that's just my opinion, right? Because you don't want to end up in a position where you don't even have a career that can pay your student loan back, yet you have all this student loan debt. That's a terrible position to begin your life. And if you want to build a family, it's going to be a big burden on your relationship and your future family when it comes to this, to the decision of having children and buying a house and all the things like that. So, I thought Dr. Phil was about to pull a weak move and say getting a college degree is better than none. Because in my opinion, my too poor to even attempt college opinion, there's only one scenario where a person go to college. And this, I'll mention, this doesn't apply to the athletes that are going to use college as a stepping stone in order to make their career like in the pros and stuff like that. This doesn't apply to them, right? Or the athletes that got some type of scholarship, right? Even if they don't end up pro, if they get a scholarship that helps pay or pays fully for their college degree, this doesn't apply to them. But that said, the one scenario a person should go to college is if that person knows exactly what it is that they want to do in their life. Right? If you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a dentist, if you want to be an architect or an engineer, all careers that whenever you start, you're going to start off on a high salary, you're going to start making a lot of money, and you're not going to be strapped with student loan debt for very long. All careers that are going to help you pay that student loan debt off in, pretty quickly, right? But there's way too many kids going to college for the wrong reasons, either because their parents or mentors told them to, without having any in-game plan. And that's the biggest problem. A lot of people that start college don't even finish, and then they end up with student loan debt because, and they don't even have a career. And even if even the people that do finish, if they don't have a degree that's, worthwhile, then they have a huge pile of student loan debt and really no career or means to pay it off. And, that's just kind of a lifelong debt to the government, essentially, that you're starting off with as a child still, in my opinion.
Required to take anything that is useful. Now, some of them do. We still have STEM degrees, and that's going up finally after years of not, I think, which is good. But, you can graduate with such bullshit degrees of sports marketing and gender studies and advanced racist spotting and just this insane, indoctrinated, that is not an exaggerated term.
No, it's not. And they're so smart.
In what way?
They're just intellectually. These are smart in terms of just capacity to learn. It is continuing to go up. These kids are smarter than we were.
Well,
but they're not being challenged. They're not taught.
They're certainly not wiser.
No.
It depends.
They're thin-skinned.
Maybe you're saying that their IQs are higher. There are certain ways that they're smarter. They're certainly more savvy about technology that we are not native to.
Well, I'll put it this way: you can give them more digits, and they can give them back to you in reverse than we could. They have more intellectual capacity. They have more working memory. They have more ability to learn in novel situations, but they're not being challenged.
And why have people gotten so much smarter in 1 or 2 generations?
Well, it's just the drift. I think they're getting the technology is stimulating their brains earlier. I think they're getting more and more input.
But you do realize that we did a man on the street right now, like Jay.
Oh, I've done it.
Okay. Like Jay Leno used to do with his jaywalking, all right? Yeah. And if we just talked to, if there was, every time we saw a Gen Z or a young millennial walk by on the sidewalk, we stop them and say, would you answer a few questions? We would find out very quickly that they know nothing. They know nothing. Like if you said, what year was America founded? Like what year did we declare independence? They couldn't come up with that year, even though it's a Broadway show, which they also don't know what that is. They just don't know anything.
We asked some the other day, where is the state of Utah located? And they said Canada. I shit you not.
Oh, I heard.
You know, I'd say Dr. Phil is almost right about the younger generation being smarter, but I think it's not generally right. It's that they have a higher ceiling, and to me, it's simply related to the tools that they have access to at a younger age than the generations before them. For instance, we used to have to go and open an encyclopedia at the library for information, or a dictionary to check for the spelling of a word. And that's if we even had access to it, right? And I think that most of y'all believe that for yourselves as well. And if you agree with that, make sure to hit the like button, consider subscribing to the channel as well, and finally, share this video with your friends. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.